All right, gang, welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday. This is the second webinar we've had with technical audio difficulties. Great to be with everyone here today. And let's see if we can get this show on the road. All right, Evan and Eric, thank you. Akeen and Kathy, great to have you in the webinar. And Dudley, also great to have you here in the webinar. We're not quite sure why we're having the audio issues, but it's making me call in from my phone rather than the computer audio. You guys don't need to worry about that right now, but we're going to try to get that worked out in the next webinar. Naaman and Olga, good to see you guys here. And everyone's got their hands up now. Tim, Terry, Stephen, and the entire BD family, welcome to Webinar Wednesday. Let's get the show on the road here. I'll lower everyone's hands. If this is your first time joining us, I'm Jason there on the left and David on the right. All right, gang, let's dive right into it. First of all, we are streaming on YouTube, which means that the replay of this webinar will be available immediately afterwards. We do invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/YouTube and click on that red subscribe button. You'll get notified every time we post a new video highlighting new features in the platform, tips of the week, and more. And also where we will post the replay will be in the Facebook group after this webinar. So we do invite everyone to join our Facebook group. It's an amazing place. I think we just passed the 9,000 member marker in that Facebook group. We're going to post something later this week about that milestone. Great discussions in there. Members are helping each other on their sites and providing feedback. So we do invite you to join us there. You can head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook and click on that blue join button. And we have a really good turnout today for the webinar. I do see a lot of new names and faces. So welcome everyone. SD, welcome. Molly, welcome. Naaman, welcome. And James, welcome. So just a little bit about Webinar Wednesday. The team is pushing updates week after week, and it's a great way for us to kind of share some of the new features baked into the platform that can help you grow your community a bit quicker, setting up your site maybe, increasing traffic, converting visitors into members, and so on. So if you have any questions about your site related to these topics or anything else, we'll do our best to get to as many questions as possible in just a little bit further down in the webinar. All right, and we have a few fun lab updates to share. In the last 2 weeks, there have been several dozen updates, but here are just a small handful that can help you with your sites. We're going to start at the top here with the text editor. We've just released something new, and we worked out a few kinks that got reported after this. But you can now add ID tags to title headings, and the value of that is it can help you create like a table of contents at the top of a web page. So if you want to create a link that then links down to like another section of the page very quickly, you need ID tags to do that, and you can do that now with the text editor in the admin area. In a phase 2, we're going to allow and enable this for the text editors when you're creating a blog post or any other type of post on the front end of the website when you're logged in as a member. But let me show you how this is going to work in the admin area, and then it would follow the same pattern once it's released in the blog area when you're creating a blog and such. So we'll go to the admin dashboard area here, and we can go to Web Page Builder. And what I'll do is I'll just create a new web page, and the URL will put ID test. And what we'll do at the top here, and we'll just say table of contents, just a quick example here. Excuse me. All right, so this needs to be a heading, a title heading. So you can highlight this, and this little paragraph format thing, normally it's going to be a heading 2. That's going to be like a subheading in the page. Now, once the text is a heading, you can right-click it, again, right-click it, and you can add an ID tag to it. So let's call this like section 1. And I'll go ahead and save those changes. So let's say this is way down the page. I'll just put a bunch of spaces here. And let's get back up here, and we have a normal text. And we'll say this is a link. This is a link. And we'll create a link. And what we're going to do is we're going to link to that section. So you use a hashtag and the same ID you gave the element. The ID shouldn't have any spaces in it. It should just be one solid string. In this case, I put a dash. That's perfectly fine. And I'll hit insert. And we'll go ahead. Oops, this is a link. Let me move this back up. And actually, we just need this to be regular heading. Okay, and here's our table of contents down here. If we right click on it, we can see that the title ID tag is section 1, and I'll go ahead and save the changes. Now, obviously, if you had a longer page, you'll have more sections. The table of contents links would be more extensive. But if we go to view this page now, so we see this up here. This is a link. If I click on this, it takes me right down to this section here. I'll scroll back up. And that's how the ID tags work. So just a note, when you're creating your links, you just have to do hashtag and then the ID of the section, and it will link to that section on the same web page. So pretty cool there. And I think this is going to have more value when you're creating blog posts. So we're excited for that phase 2 to be released soon as well. All right, this next one we posted in the Facebook group. Members can always add links to their profile pages, such as their website URL, their Facebook page, their Twitter. Because of popular demand, we've now by default included TikTok, Snapchat, and WhatsApp. So members can include the profile links for those 3 social platforms, and it will be included on their profile pages. We could take a very quick look at what that looks like. And I believe I'm logged in as a sample member here. And we'll go to basic information. And if we scroll down here, we can see now there is TikTok, Snapchat, and WhatsApp. And what's really good is there's an example of the format it should be in. So with TikTok, it's at your username. So this should help people put the correct URL in. And WhatsApp as well, put the full phone number and with the format here. So yeah, they can add it there now. And let's take a look at what that looks like on the profile page. And we can see here, this person is very social on all the popular platforms. And we can see those 3 here, TikTok, Snapchat, and WhatsApp. Okay, this next one is related to the private member chats add-on. So there's an add-on where you can enable it so members can send one-on-one chats to each other, and they can continuously chat to each other and send messages to each other back and forth. Up until now, you can include text and you can include images when you're chatting, but now members can share PDF files amongst each other when they're in the private member chat. So first, let me show you a link to what that add-on is if you're curious. And this is a great way if designers are working with clients and they need to share information among each other. They could do it all through the site. So there are a lot of use cases for that. But I'll just send a link to this add-on. And there's also a cool video here as well. Not every site needs this, but in case you do. And let me show you what that would look like. So when members are chatting, there's an advanced setting to enable if you want them to allow them to share PDF files. When you enable the advanced setting, it will look like this when they're chatting amongst each other. And the image icon is right there. And if you do want to enable this, the sharing of PDF files in the private chat messages, there is an advanced setting to enable. Go to your settings, advanced settings, and search for Froella upload file for chat. You can just search file for chat and toggle that to the on position. When you do that, members will have the ability to upload a file, a PDF file, when they're chatting amongst each other. All right, this one is small, but pretty huge actually. Also related to another add-on. So there's an add-on which allows members to select additional service areas that they travel to or that they serve or want to be found in for location searches around the site. Let me show you a quick example of what that is, and also I'll pop a link to the add-on in the chat. So those of you who are curious can look into that. So it's called a multi-location listings, and it allows a single listing to be found in multiple locations. Obviously gives members more visibility who are listed in more locations. But let's stick with this sample member as an example. So this member is located in Los Angeles, but they have selected that they also serve Houston, Miami, and Paris, France, as an example. So this person will not only be found in Los Angeles, but also Houston, Miami, and Paris. Now, before this update, if you did a search for Houston, and this member does serve Houston, there was a small little hiccup. It would say that this member is like 1,400 miles away from what was searched, because Los Angeles, which is their headquarters, is so much further away from Houston. However, we've updated it, and because this member serves Houston, it will now say within 1 mile and the service area that triggered the match. So why is this member who's located in Los Angeles showing up for a Houston, Texas search? Now there is context here. So this should not only help the website visitor, but the website owner and our support team as well, wondering why a certain member who's headquartered in another city is showing up for a specific type of location search that's outside of their main location. So we could do just another quick search here, Paris, France, and the same thing will happen. Because this is triggered by a service area match, additional service areas that this member is listed in, we see this here serves Paris, France, and they're right in there, so it says within 1 mile. So pretty big, should make a lot more sense for the visitors and the website owner, and you're not going to see like 2,000 miles away, which those of you familiar with the add-on, it was showing things like that, and it really didn't provide the right context for what the search results should display. All right, so that is all pushed and ready for you guys, and coming soon, we've mentioned it before, more API and Zapier workflows and use cases, the ability to import member leads into the website, and also the ability to update members. So if you have member data on your site and you want to just update existing records, you'll be able to do that very soon directly through Zapier. Also, I've mentioned this before, the ability to translate your site into, we're going to start with Spanish. You can tap into another language library for your text labels and quickly toggle to another language. We're going to start with Spanish, and then we'll continue to follow based on popularity and requests such as French, German, et cetera, et cetera. And tons more speed updates. Big shout out to the BD community, your suggestions, your support tickets, your Facebook group discussions. They really drive the software and the platform forward for everyone. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. If you want to raise your hand and just make a comment on any one of these new features, a quick question or comment, and then we'll go into the tip of the week. Let's see if we have any hands up here. All right, we got Tim.
Hello, Jason. How you doing?
Fantastic, fantastic. A little audio difficulty with the webinar, but hopefully the sound is coming through loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Once again, you guys are doing just a fine job. I was wondering if I could ask a rookie question on the location triggering the additional service areas. I could never figure out how in the world do they choose which additional service areas.
Perfect. That's a great question. Let me show you, because it's a privilege to be listed in additional locations, right? The member's going to get more visibility. Their profile is going to get more visibility. So when you have the add-on, you can then assign which membership plans have the privilege of selecting additional service locations, service areas. So let's go ahead and edit a membership plan. And when you're editing a membership plan, go to search visibility when you have this add-on. And let me find where this is. Okay, so max location limit, how many additional locations can they select to be listed in? So in this case, maybe you just want to set it to 3 or whatever it might be. In this case, it's 10. And then not only can you set the maximum number of additional locations they can select, but down here, you can select the location types. So obviously, if you let them select states, they're going to be found for any cities within a state. That's really broad, and you probably don't want to give that type of visibility to your members unless they're paying a premium, like they want to be listed for anything in California. But generally, if you want to keep it a little bit under control, allow them to select zip codes and cities. List in additional 10 zip codes, right? So you can say that on the membership plan sign up page. That's a perk of a higher tiered plan. Select up to 10 zip codes to be found in. That seems reasonable for users. But again, you can choose the type of regions they can select. Let's just stick with county, city, and zip code. Let me save this. And on the member side, when they're editing their profile, they'll get an extra tab here if their membership plan has the service area, additional locations available. And they can start entering any address or location here. So I'll just do Houston, Texas again. And you can see here it says add, because I can only add either the county, the city, or the postal code. So I didn't enter a postal code, so it's the broadest or most specific thing I entered was Houston. But if I do like 90210 for Beverly Hills, I can select postal code, the city, or the county that I want to be found in. And this corresponds to the location types that are available here. So again, a zip code or postal code would be the smallest or most specific, and then they would be able to add them here. And let's just add 90210 for this member. So there they are for this zip code. And if we search 90210, right away this member should be found there. Here, within 1 mile, serves Beverly Hills, California, 90210. So that's just a snapshot of how this works.
That's awesome. I'm not quite sure how I missed that after all this time.
You know what? Sometimes there's too many features built into the platform, but that's why we have the webinars to kind of, like a refresher, even if you've had your site on for a while.
Thanks much.
All right, great question. Thank you so much, Tim. All right, guys. Yeah, great updates. Again, thank you to the BD community. Always lots of fun to share the good news with you guys. And with that, we'll switch gears a bit. We'll switch on over to the tip of the week. And this question comes up from time to time, especially if you're setting up your site for the first time. Why can't members select more than one top level category? It seems like it should be able to, but we're going to explain in this tip of the week. David, if it's okay with you, we can pass it over and you could take us through some of this logic and why things are set up this way and how to work around them.
Absolutely. I think you introduced it perfectly here. So if we dive right on into the first slide here, starting kind of at ground level, just briefly covering what member categories are. Essentially, it's a hierarchy to organize your members within your directory. So members can be searched for and found within your directory based on the categories that you've set up in the back end and that they've selected from within their account. Members can only be listed, though, in one top level category, as Jason mentioned, but they can select multiple subcategories as well as subcategories. We'll be talking about this last point primarily here in this presentation, why it's set up this way, how to kind of get around it, when you might encounter this sort of scenario, everything like that. Going right on into the primary question here, members can only select one top level category. Again, this is the primary grouping or kind of the main bucket that a single member is listed within on your website. So the most generic top level categories would be things like general user, member, business, things like that. Now, if you're going to have multiple top level categories, then they really should be broad and distinct from one another. They should be so broad and distinct that it would be unlikely for a member to end up needing to select multiple top level categories to be listed within, because again, they can only select one top level category anyway. So some quick examples of broad and distinct top level categories would be things like doctor, lawyer, construction, pets. It would be unlikely that a doctor would need to be listed in the doctor category as well as construction and pets. So by making the top level categories broad and distinct in this way, we eliminate or at least reduce the likelihood that members would actually end up needing to select multiple top level categories. So with a correct category structure, a member should never need to select multiple top level categories. And if they do, then your top level categories should actually be subcategories, more specialized within broader top level categories. I know we're going to be throwing the word category and categories around a lot in this webinar, so we do have some examples and screenshots thrown in as well to hopefully help clarify some points if you get a little confused as we go through this. So most directory websites do have multiple broad and unique top level categories set up in their site. And members can select then just a single top level category that they would best fit into, for example, doctor or construction. Visitors, on the other hand, can then search for members with just a basic top level category search module. Most BD sites, I think, start off with the top level category, or it might be keyword and location based search modules, but there is one just for top level category. This is what it looks like, where the website visitor would only be able to select one top level category, and then they would be presented with all of the members who are within that single category.
Right, or they'll start their search filtering with the top level category, and then some of the sub filters for the subcategories and additional specialties that fall within that top level category.
Correct. So when should you use only one top level category though? Well, when you think to yourself that my members, they will need to select more than one top level category, I know the logic in that sounds a little backwards, but again, if members are going to need to select multiple categories, then they're going to be needing to select subcategories because they can only select one top level category. So again, if you have a website that's focused on one specific industry, then it's likely that members will have multiple different specialties within that industry that they'll want to select to be listed and found within. And again, these specialties should be subcategories, not top level categories. And we have an example to help clarify this point here. So for a lawyer or attorney directory, it's all the website is for to find lawyers or attorneys. Lawyers can specialize though in multiple fields. So the website, it would only have one top level category called lawyer or attorney, legal professional, something like that, really broad. And then the subcategories would then be the legal specialties that the members actually practice. So in this example here, this search module is only showing the subcategory dropdown. That's one, what lawyer do you need? And then it's also showing subcategories. That's the second dropdown there, select a specialty. So it's totally excluding the selection for top level category because there's no need for a website visitor to select the only top level category that exists on the website. It would be just an unnecessary step. So selecting a top level category in this case has been excluded. And so then they can just get right on into selecting one of the subcategories, in this case, the field of law that a lawyer might be practicing. And then if they further want to clarify what type of lawyer they're looking for, they can then select a specialty, which would be a subcategory. So we'll show you now some tips and tricks to kind of get all of this set up, working well, get the user experience on point for both the members as well as the website visitors or the general users. And I think as we go through some of these, if you're still a little bit confused on the setup of the category structure here, I think as we go through these, again, it'll help to clarify some points.
Awesome. So I think we can just start again. For those of you that have your site set up, this might not be relatable for you right now, but in case you have another site idea in the future, these are good concepts to grasp in general. So the first thing is, if you're only going to have one top level category, set up your site with just one top level category. And then also we want to use the search modules that exclude having to select the top level category because it's redundant because all the members would fall under that in the first place. So let's take a look at the admin area here, and we'll start at the dashboard. So the first place you're going to spend most of your time when you're setting up your site is under My Members and Member Categories. And all the sites start off with just a few, 3 or 4 sample dummy categories. But in this case, the first tab is top level category. And you're going to want to make sure that if you're going this route, at least when you're initially setting up, make sure you just have one top level category. And then all the subcategories and the sub level categories will be pinned to that top level category. In this case, we've called the top level category member. As David mentioned, you could have it called lawyer if you're just a lawyer directory. But pro tip here, and it's one of the tips down the line, is maybe you want to give this a short SEO keyword friendly name as the top level category, because this is sometimes sprinkled around the site in the code and things like that. So we could take advantage of this, and it could be Boston lawyer or a city lawyer or some other focus that your website has. Or if you want to go super generic, you could just use the word user or whatever you think is the most generic word you can use. And then all the subs and subcategories will be pinned under that top level category. So in this case, this category was called member, and all our subs are pinned to the top level category member, as well as the subs. It's pinned under member and then the sub level category here. And so that's 1 and 2. And there are some advanced settings that we can take advantage of to hide the top level category from displaying around the site as it does by default. The first one would be in the member profile URL format. So when a member signs up, what's really cool about BD is it creates a really keyword friendly and SEO friendly URL for the member's profile page. Let's take a look at that together with our sample member here. Let me get out of this mode here. Okay, so what we can see here is this member, Lisa Jones, it's using the state, the city, and the member's name as their URL. Now we have a few settings to modify this, and let me show you where those are. If we go to the advanced settings, and I think we can search for profile URL. Here we go. Member profile URL structure. So we have available elements and we have the current URL order. So in this case, it's just set up for state, city, and member name. We can add the top level category. In fact, I think this is how it starts by default. You can even add the postal code and the country name, and you can even move them around to make a longer URL if you wanted to, and so forth. But what we can do in this case is we can X out and remove the top level category so that it is not part of the member's profile URL. It won't be part of the URL here. And if we save this, and we'll go ahead and just save this. And if this member comes back and saves their changes again to their basic information, it will automatically update their profile URL to what the website owner has set. And it creates a 301 redirect. So the old URL will now redirect to this new URL. So you won't lose any traffic. Let's go to visit public profile. And we can see here we have, well, this person didn't enter a zip code. That's why it's not here. But we see United States, California, Los Angeles. Here we see the top level category member and person's name. Let me just remove a couple things here. Okay, and let's go back here. And let's remove the country. Let's just do it with the person's name. Let's just play around with it. It'll be a good little test here for us. Okay, let's refresh this page. And we'll save the changes. Just hitting enter here on one of the fields. Okay, and view listing. So we can see here, now we have a URL. It's just the person's name. And if you set it up like this, the system is actually smart enough. If there's 2 members with the same name, it will add like a -1 or a -2 so that they do have their own unique URLs. Just like on Twitter, you want to be the first one with your name, but it's usually taken and you have to add some things to the end of it. But in this case, we can now see that it's just Lisa Jones, and we've hidden the top level category here. So this is pretty good. If you're hyper focused on your SEO, you may want to play around with this and see what is best for your SEO planning and model. The next one is to hide the top level category on the member profile page. So on the member's profile page, generally right up here in this top area, it will list the top level category. So that is also an advanced setting. And let me search for hide top. And here is the setting, hide top level category on member profile page. This is on. Let's turn it off for a moment. And remember, the top level category on this website is named member. So if we refresh the page, we'll see the word member here now. Here it is. So if we want to hide this, we just come to the advanced setting and enable this to hide top level category on member profile page. Perfect. So now we've hidden it from the URL. We've hidden it right here at the top, and that is good. More advanced settings, and a good way to take advantage of highlighting some of the subcategories that the member has selected. We can actually show the subcategories on the member's profile page as well as in the search results. Let's go to a search results page here. We'll click on Los Angeles in the breadcrumbs. We turn this into a static page. Cool. So we can see here it says category member. And if we're hiding the top level category, this is undesired. Let me show you how you can hide this from the search results. Let me search for top level. And you guys can take note of what I'm typing in here. If I did type top hyphen level. And if we scroll down, let me find the right setting. Okay, let's make note of this. We might have to update the name so it's easier to find. Yes, here it is. Show top category in member search results. This is enabled by default, so we want to turn this off. So we do not want to show the top level category in the member search results. And I'll just save those changes. And we'll refresh this page. And we can see now it does not say category member. Now actually, let's select some subcategories. We haven't done that for this member. Let's just select we just did a sample sub and sub level. Sub level 1 and their sub level categories. We'll just do a bunch of these and save the changes. Okay, so now this person definitely has subcategories selected. Let me refresh here and see if they're showing. So great. So the specialties, we can now see it's limited to just a certain number because members can select whatever you allow them to. It could be 100, and we don't want to cannibalize the search results page, but we can get a small preview of the members' specialties here. And this is also an advanced setting. So you want to make sure this might be enabled on your site as opposed to the show top categories in member search results. So now let me search for show sub, and that should get us the setting we're looking for. Here it is, show subcategories in member search results. I'll turn it off just as a quick test. And we'll refresh the page. So we see it's not there now, but if your choice is the website owner, it's probably good for SEO too. You can enable this and hit save changes. And now we see a small preview of the subcategories, the specialties or subcategories this member is a part of. And also now that this member has selected subcategories, we can see their specialties on their profile page as well. We can see sub-level 1, and this is slightly indented, so we can see a list of the subcategories, and then another subcategory and the subcategories. So this is how to better highlight the subcategories and not so much the top-level category. This next one here, letter D, pre-selecting the top-level category when the member signs up. So if we're only going to have one top-level category, we don't want the member to have to select that when they're filling out their profile. That is the best describes you field when they're filling out their profile. Let's go there together real quick. So this is their basic information, and we can see here, best describes you. Basically, they're choosing their top-level category. There is only one top-level category here. So we really don't need the member to select this on their own. And there is a setting, so when the member signs up, they'll automatically be pinned to this top-level category. Let me show you where that is, and I'm also going to share another video that we did from a previous webinar. If we go to membership plans, and we'll just edit any membership plan. So you might want to do this for all your membership plans if you only have one top level category. And we can use the search filter here. Let me search for pre-select. There we go. Search for pre-select here. And you can pre-select the top level category. So the member will never see this, but when they sign up to this membership plan, so you might want to do this for all your membership plans with one top level category, they'll automatically be pinned to the top level category that you've set here. Now, if you have multiple top level categories, this is also awesome. You might have a membership plan for doctors, a membership plan for lawyers, or whatever it might be, and you can pin the top category automatically to a membership plan. So that's also a great way to kind of sync up membership plans with top level categories. There might be different price points, different features, different search visibility that they might have. So there are a lot of use cases for wanting to pre-select the top level category with the membership plan. But in this example, with only one top category on the site, why don't we go ahead and pre-select that so the member does not need to worry about that. And let me share a video we did in a previous webinar, which covers this in more detail about pre-selecting. Here we go. How to pre-select categories, also company versus individual when a member signs up. Not the most elegant title there, but it does explain what this article is about. So there's a quick video on this page, and it goes into more detail. So that was D, pre-selecting the top level category when a member signs up. And then E, we just saw this, they also don't need to see the best describes you field in their basic information section. We've already pre-selected their top level category. They're not going to change it, and there is nothing else to select. So let me quickly show you how to hide the best describes you field in the basic information form. So this is the form here, basic information, and we can certainly edit this and add or remove whatever we want. In this case, we want to hide or not include the best describes you field because they don't need to select a top level category now. So to do this, we'll go to Form Manager, and we're almost done with this list, I promise you guys. We'll go to Form Manager, and what we want to look for is the listing. I think it's called Contact Details Member right here. Listing Contact Details Member. You can see here, Member Contact Details is the short code name. We can go ahead and customize this. And when we're customizing it, what we can search for is the top category list. And what we can do is just hide this. You can delete it if you want, or in case you might bring it back, you might want to just click on the cog and under display settings, turn off input view. So input view is when you're filling out a form and inputting data. We don't want this field to show. So I'll go ahead and save those changes. And this should work now, where it will not show on the input field. So I'll refresh this page. And there we go. We do not see the best describes you anymore. We've pre-selected it when the member signs up. So top level category is out of mind, out of sight for this member now. And the last thing is what I've mentioned earlier. F is you may want to take advantage of this. The top level category may be sprinkled in other parts of the site or some search results pages here and there. You might stumble upon it. So you might want to choose something that's actually keyword friendly for your site that probably matches your industry or location that you're serving. For example, we'll stick with the lawyer directory in Boston. You might want the top level category to be Boston lawyer or Boston lawyers or Boston legal. So something still short, but if somebody stumbled upon that or search engines crawl that, it will help your SEO, not hurt your SEO, or it can add value in some shape, way, or form. So those are just a few tips and tricks. And I think the last thing I forgot was the searches on the home page and the sidebars. Let me cover that real quick. So in David's example, let me go back a couple slides. He showed this example that dives right into the subcategory and sub-sub selection options. Let me show you where you can find that for your home page and your sidebar when you're searching for members in the search results page, the sidebar search module there. So on the home page, if you're going to have a search filter there, some people are choosing to have buttons now as opposed to having the search right on the home page. But in design settings, under the home page section, go to the second box here. It's called search box, call to action. And we can see here I've selected a search module that includes the sub and sub-sub search. There are ones that include top, sub, and sub-sub search, but because we only have one top level category, it is redundant to ask the visitor to select the top level category. So we want to skip all of the search modules that include top in them. So there are several that we might want to take advantage of. Subcategory and sub-sub filters, and that's what we have here. The subcategory and then the sub-sub category. You can do subcategory and location, so it will not include sub-sub category. It will just be the subcategory and a location field. You can also do only a subcategory, or you can go for the whole enchilada and do sub, sub-sub, and location search. So lots of, basically every combination you can have is listed here. And let's do this one here, sub, sub-sub, and location. And we'll refresh just as soon as this saves. We'll refresh this here. And we can see here now we also have the search by location field. Quick tip when you do this, don't forget you can update the text labels. So this starts with specializing in. You can see here you can change the text labels. We'll do it directly from the admin. You can click on it and we can change specializing into what type of lawyer do you need? And we'll go ahead and save those changes. So they would select probably the subcategory that David kind of had in his example: corporate law, employment law, securities, tax law. And instead of more options, which is just a very generic subheading for that, we can put specializing in here and save those changes. And we'll get rid of the text label changer. So you come to the site and it says, what type of lawyer do you need? Specializing in, and also search by location. So now there's more context, it makes more sense, and guess what? We're not selecting a top level category at all. It's hidden and the user and your members won't even know what's happening behind the scenes. David, did I miss anything? I tried to be as thorough as possible here.
Yeah, the last thing to show would be how to change the search filter in sidebars, like on the member profile pages or search results page.
Perfect. Okay. So we can see here when you're on a member search page, there is a search module here, and there is a way to edit this and change this just like you do on your home page. Just a few more clicks to get to this. So here you want to go to My Content and Edit Post Settings. The member listings are technically a post type, and it should be your first post type. I'm going to scroll down. So you can see here, these are your videos, properties, job listings. You should see listings or member listings. I'll go ahead and click Edit under Member Listings. And as David mentioned, this is the sidebar search module on the search results pages. So this will be under Search Results Design. And if we scroll down here, there is a blue toggle button here, Additional Settings, lots of good settings in here. If we scroll down just a little bit, we can see here sidebar search module to use, and it's kind of listed the same way. We see just look at the end here. You see top category only, top category and location, and then we see the subcategory only, subcategory and location, sub-sub location. Let's switch to just subcategory only and save the changes, and let's see it change on the search results page. Okay, and we can see here just the subcategory search. So you really have control over what search module you want to use on the home page and in the sidebar here as well. And I'm sure there's more, but I think that covers 90% of the workaround to use your site when you only have one top level category. So with that, we'll pass it over to you guys. You can ask questions about any of the new features coming down the line. If you need some assistance with your site, we'll be happy to help you guys the best we can. And let's switch on over to Michelle. I see your hand is up there. How you doing, Michelle?
Hey, doing well, Jason. How are you?
Good. How'd you like the webinar so far today?
Oh my gosh, when I saw that this was on categories, I was so happy because I've been struggling and I have plenty of questions.
Okay, shoot, fire away.
Okay, so are we able to combine sub and sub-sub, for example, in one search bar?
Can we combine them in one search bar? You mean keyword search, like up here, where you just type in? Yes, you should be able to. So we can here see sub. See, I just typed the word sub, and we see subcategories, and also the sub level. So these are sub and sub. So we see this. These are subs and sub levels listed here. So yes, you can use the keyword search. Let me show you where you can control that actually. So that actually is an add-on. Let me show you what that is. If you have the VIP add-ons club, you do have it on your site. Here it is. It is the Predictive Keyword Search add-on. That's why it's kind of showing me suggestions as I'm typing. And if you scroll down here, there is documentation on it. So view documentation with the link I just shared. But let me show you where some of the settings are in general. So if you go to Developer Hub, when you have this add-on, it's called auto suggestion. It's basically auto suggesting results as you type. And in this case, it's for the member search. So you can have an auto suggestion, predictive keyword search, classifieds, coupons, in this case, member search. And if I click edit, so you don't need to worry about the stuff at the top. Like, when do you want the predictive to trigger in? Like, after how many characters? Like, if someone types in 2 or 3 characters, the maximum auto suggestion limit. So, like, you don't want to show 1,000 suggestions to people. And here's the thing: you can choose what is suggested. Like, do you want to suggest actual member listings? Do you want to suggest main categories or top level categories, or do you also want to suggest this is sub and sub level categories? So you can hide, this is good actually, you mentioned it, hide the main category one, because that would just be your one top level category. You don't need that. And now you can just enable subcategories. So, and there's some other, the documentation has what these settings are, like if you want to show the locations, additional details and such. I'll just go ahead and save the changes. But to answer your question, yes, you can have a keyword field that will suggest subs and sub-subs as people type.
Brilliant. That is really cool. Thank you so much.
One more question. That was a good one.
Thanks. So my next question is, if you wouldn't mind going over to doctor.webmd.com.
Okay, let's go. Doctor.webmd.com.
Yes.
Okay.
And then if you scroll down, they basically list specialties. So you can browse by specialty, condition, and procedure. I'm trying to emulate this, but I don't understand how to structure my subs and my sub-subs, because I've tried to list all conditions in subcategories and then all procedures in sub-subs, but they end up getting nested under one of the subs. Is there a way to do it without them being nested, or am I just going about this all wrong?
Yes, there is another way that I'm thinking. Basically, you're saying you've run out of sub-subs, right? And it would be too tedious to go. You know, acid reflux could be a symptom of many issues. I see. I'm not a doctor, so I'm trying to wrap my head about it. You can do this. I'll show you something quick you can do. Let me just copy these here real quick. Let's go back to the form manager, and you can create a checkbox field, and you can kind of just create something that members can select themselves. I'll just do it here I'll just do add a field here. And what we'll do is we'll create a checkbox field, and we'll call it, what are these? These are conditions. Okay, and let me just quickly save the changes. And then we should, after this, see options to add condition options. Let me see. Yes, here we can add an option. So I'll just add a few of them here, and I'll show you how they can be searched.
Great.
Acid reflux, anxiety, and depression. And I'll save the changes. And let's go back to Lisa Jones, this example that we have. And let's select some of these. So condition, you can say like, what conditions do you can make it a question here. What conditions do you fix or whatever it is. So we'll go ahead and save the changes. Oops, wrong save. Let me make sure I save that properly. Yep, okay, so they're saved. And with this one, and there is a setting, let me show you this one. We'll go back to, and I know I'm flying around. So basically what we did right now is we went to the form manager and we added some additional checkboxes the member can select for options. So if you go to edit post settings, under member listings, I just want to make sure this setting is enabled, because when you do a keyword search, by default, it just searches the member's name, their company name, and their categories they're part of. It doesn't like search every piece of data of their profile, but there is a setting wanted to allow that. So here, this is the one. So just search the default fields, which is like the name and company, or default fields and custom fields. So this is enabled here. So if we go to her profile, okay, we can see conditions are served. So if I search depression now, she should show up. And there we go. She showed up for a depression search because it's part of her profile now. That keyword is in her profile. So you could create quick links. We can see the link here, right? Search results Q equals depression. So if you wanted to add something to your home page, you can get the URL of what the link should be by just doing a quick search yourself for that. And then you can add this to your home page as the link that we're seeing here.
Yeah, got it.
So it's 3 steps. It's add it to the form so the member can select it as the member, you can do some tests, and then here's the link for that keyword search, depression.
Got it. I was trying to do that with like streaming subcategories and streaming subcategories, but I can see where I just need to build it more or less custom.
Yes, exactly. Yes, so get the mindset out of the streaming, because you're only going to list like 10 there. So it'll just take you a moment to kind of choose the most popular ones there yourself. And then that's a good starting point, in my opinion.
So basically, the solution is, in short, don't make the conditions or the procedures categories, but make them custom fields, custom values.
I think that's a good place to start.
Okay.
Because when you specialize in something, then you offer procedures. That makes total sense. And the conditions that you treat can really be infinite, to be honest. So based on your specialty. So I think this would be a good place to start. You can also have the members add a comma-separated list of their conditions. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but I think that the most straightforward way would just be like I mentioned.
I'm definitely going to do that. Mm-hmm.
If these specialties are unique enough and broad enough, these could be your top level categories. And then you can have the procedures and the conditions as sub and sub categories. But they seem like they would, I don't know how to classify condition, because that's kind of like how someone's feeling. Again, that could be infinite. What a condition is. So you probably want to just do the most popular ones.
Mm-hmm. Will there be any issues with SEO if I use custom values instead of categories?
No, because you could later, inject the custom values, sprinkle them into the metadata and titles if they're that high value to be part of different areas of your SEO. So once it's part of the member's profile, there are methods to add those, to sprinkle them around the site, or more specifically on the member's profile, to help enhance the SEO further.
Okay.
And helps add more custom value, more unique content to the member's profile page as well. So that also helps with SEO, because now they're adding more content just by checking a few boxes when they're setting up their profile.
Great. And then with that search results $Q equals, then I can say at the end of an article or a blog post, I can say looking for practitioners who specialize with or who help with depression, click here.
Exactly. Now your internal link site, and that is definitely good for SEO.
Heck yeah. Okay. I do have one more question, but if you want to move on to someone else, you can totally do that.
Yeah, let's move on. I appreciate the questions. Let's move on to someone else, though. Thank you for those. Those were really good questions. All right, good stuff there. All right, we do see a few hands up here. I see a new name here. I'm going to mispronounce this. I apologize. Sajay. Oh, there we go.
Saj. Can you hear me?
Saj. Okay. Sorry about that. I apologize. How are you today?
Oh, no, I'm good. So my directory is seniorsindex.com, and I'm trying to do a specific, like just for the state of Alabama, seniors index, where we list basically all the like caregivers, the assisted livings, nursing homes. So I've loaded, and I've got over 800 something members where they can come in and claim their file. And I'm doing it with a board of marketers in that industry, and each little category has a form that they would like for people to fill out. So my question is, like, how do you, like, if someone wants to send a message or something to an assisted living versus if they want to send a message to a home health person, how can you make that form different for each category?
I got you. So in this case, you're going to want to take advantage of what we mentioned before. And when people sign up, you're going to want to pin or at least have a set of membership plans that are pinned to a top level category. Did you catch that part of the webinar?
No, I kind of got in late because I'm driving back from doing a presentation on the website, about the website.
So in short, what you want to do is you can pre-select the top level category when someone signs up to a specific membership plan. Okay, so that's number one. So now we know that that category is kind of for a set of membership plans. Let's say you have 3 membership for assisted living, and they're pre-selecting the top level category. Also in the membership settings, you can choose the sidebar say on their profile. So what you'll do is you'll create alternate sidebars for the different membership levels. So you want to go to Toolbox, Sidebar Manager, and you're going to want to clone your member profile page. Where do we have it here? Member profile page. You want to customize it and then clone it like 2 times or however many categories you're going to have. You need a different sidebar for. So assisted living, nurses. And the last part is now that you have different sidebars, you need different forms to drop in to the different sidebars. So you're going to go to your form manager and you're going to clone the lead form, the get matched form. And you're going to clone it however many times that you need it. Let me show you here. So this is the website get matched form. Excuse me, it's the website lead form get matched. There's some extras here we don't really use anymore. It's website lead form get matched. Go ahead and customize this, clone it however many times you need to, and then add the different fields for the different categories for assisted living or nurses to each of those forms, and then drop the custom forms into the respective sidebars. So clone the forms, clone the sidebars, and then assign the different membership plans the sidebar that they should have with the form that should be in that sidebar. So it's kind of a 3-step process. It's just a lot of pointing and clicking, and you're basically cloning the sidebars and cloning the get matched form, and then modifying that form based on the category that you're going to serve. So it's a few steps in that process, but it's still very straightforward there. So it's a good question there. All right, let's move on to our good friend Ryan. Ryan's always got good news for us and good things to say. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, good. I just want to give a quick alternate thing for that last question about putting stuff on the homepage. We've done it before where we did use it as categories, and the way to do that is to put the specialty, the condition, and the procedure as the subcategory question, basically, and then have the actual ones underneath that as the subcategory. And then the reason that usually works good is if it's all one directory and they're all clinicians or doctors anyway, the other, it's more descriptor. They're using the categories as descriptors as opposed to actual categories, because they're all doctors. And so what you can do is use the sidebar filter and the search with the the sub and sub category search filters, and it works good where they can just select multiple things like which procedure do you want, which condition, and which specialty, and then it'll filter out based on all three of those settings, if that makes sense. So we did that for one client. If you want to pull it up just as a demo, it's on myneedsnetwork.com. But it kind of shows that process of using the that example of the questions as the categories, if that makes sense, and then you can kind of output them on the main page, kind of like what she was looking for. But you can also use the sidebar filters as well.
Yes, actually, you bring up a really good point there. I shared Ryan's website. Ryan is a partner in the Brilliant Directories marketplace, and he's with Directory Toolkit. So I shared a link to directorytoolkit.com if you want to. Michelle was asking basically if you want to get in touch with Ryan about that method. Anything else you want to share, Ryan?
Nope, that was it. I was just saying what she was going down the route for categories does work, and we've used it before. So just a different
right,
6 one, half does the other. It just depends on if you want to use the categories for something else. So
absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for sharing, Ryan. Always good to hear from you as well too. All right. Actually, Ryan did give me a couple more ideas for you, Michelle, and actually this is good for everyone. There is another Brilliant Directories add-on. And this one is pretty cool. It might work in this case for those conditions or just in general. It's called keywords for categories. So if you have a category such as, and let me go to, if you have a category called acupuncture, you could assign additional keywords. So the keywords could be the conditions that would warrant the procedure or the specialty. So if you added acid reflux as a condition for whatever, let's see, for an endo, I can't even pronounce it, a gastroenterologist, then if someone searched acid reflux, they would find all the gastroenterologists. So let me show you where that is. When you have this add-on, it's really cool actually. Basically alternate keywords for finding that category. So here's the word member, and here's related keywords. Let's put something like asthma, and let's actually do it for a subcategory here. So for sublevel category 1, we're going to put asthma. Let me remove it, save it there. So now, okay. If we search for asthma, we're going to find all the members who are part of sublevel category 1. We're going to cross our fingers and hope so. So let's do that together. So we'll search asthma and we'll do a search. And it didn't work the way that I wanted it to. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, well, I have to see why that is. Maybe it was some of the auto-suggest settings and whatnot. Let me search here, asthma. Yeah, it should work, but we're on a webinar and it's not. But this might be another workaround for you for related keywords, and you can pin them to your subs, and even top level categories. This is also good for misspellings. So if you have a category called doctor, and you can put common misspellings, maybe someone puts an AR or whatever, that way if people misspell something very close to your category name, or they put an S at the end, it will still find that category's results. Again, not sure why it's not working on the site, probably because we're in a webinar, but related keywords are really cool for categories. I will drop this link in here as well. All right, let's move on. We got a few more hands up here. We got Brian B. How you doing, Brian?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where are you calling in from, Brian?
Right now I'm up in the White Mountains in Arizona.
Thanks for the webinar. What's the question for us?
Is there a way that filter by category and search by location can work together? Do you guys have like some kind of a widget that does that, or?
Yes, by default, there should be, let's just look at the home page as an example. There should be a location option with all of the, you see here, top category plus a location filter.
Oh, I meant like in the sidebar.
Yes, sidebar as well. So let's go to there. And what combination are you looking for?
If you want to, can I show you my site?
Yeah, what's your site?
It's barandclub.com.
I'm with you. Love that site.
And then if you just do /search, you could see what I'm trying to set up on the right.
Okay, let's go there together.
So you see here, I have the search by category and top filter. Those are two separate ones, but I was trying to see if they could do it like together.
I see. So if this is selected, like bed and breakfast.
Yeah, there's nothing in there. A good option to do, like, say you type in the zip code like 85224.
Okay, just a moment. Let's do that together.
And then select that and then hit search. It'll bring up like 104 results. And then if you go scroll down underneath the nightlife locations.
Yeah, nightlife, I see here, because it's nightlife and wine and bar.
Yeah, so then go down to like bar and grill or something like that.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of bar and grills.
All right. You're saying it's going to lose the location when I click this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it has 320 results instead of 104.
Right. Let me try one. I want to try one thing on your site. And if not, it's the way that we're expecting, like you're expecting. Let me go to your sidebar here. And I want to just try a different location module here.
Okay.
This is the dynamic one. Okay. Oops, sorry. Let me go to edit post settings.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I'm just using the wrong widgets or.
Yeah, let's just do a quick test here together, and then we'll see here. So this is the location plus radius. I want to do just the location only one.
Okay.
Let me see. That is, there should be one. There should be one for just the location searched. Keyword only, top category only. Are my eyes missing it? Do we not have a location only, subcategory only? We do not. I'm just going to switch it to keyword and location just quickly.
Okay.
And note here that we need a location only search field in sidebar for member search. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. All right, let's go back to your site real quick. Okay, what was that zip code again?
85224.
Okay. And let me quickly go to
nightlife locations and then bar and grill. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you can do me a favor, and if you can show this to the support team, they should.
Yeah.
They'll make a project card and update the logic so that if additional category filters are selected, it will add it to the search, not override the previous search.
Yeah.
So it will keep the location, even if it would keep the keyword, the location, and then also do the category stuff. So that way you could have a location plus these filter by category options.
Yeah. And then I had another quick question. You see how like
Sure.
you have all the filter by categories? It would be nice if you could like, hide one, because I don't want to show members, but Like I actually have members on there, but I don't want to show them. You know what I'm saying? Like be able to choose to hide or show certain categories would be nice.
Got it. Like you have this one here that says members.
Yeah, because those are, I basically have people that sign up and then they can like favorite their favorite places and all that stuff, right? But I don't want them visible to the public. So I've tried to hide everybody I can, or hide everything I can, but you can't hide certain things.
Yeah, I'm thinking a good place for this would be in, let me switch this back for you, by the way.
Okay.
Back to the location radius. I'm thinking a good place for that would be under member categories. And when you have the dynamic add-on, is having a checkbox here to hide from the dynamic filtering. So that way you can select to hide from the dynamic filtering. Would that be what?
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the current logic, it's just set up when you click on it, it just focuses on the dynamic categories you're selecting. So it kind of, if you have an alternate search module, it's not kind of respecting what was previously entered, but it should, in my opinion. So that way you can have multiple search modules and the dynamic filter will just continue with the expand on the search that was already conducted.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you.
And site is amazing. Always got good tips as well. How are we doing on time here? All right, we're just a little over time. Let's see here. We got Evan with his hand up. Evan, how you doing today?
Hey, good, Jason. Hey, silly question maybe. I have a Colorado-based site called Colorado.net, and I am getting several for free signups that are coming through that I need to just delete. So is there a way to restrict the for free signups to a specific geography?
Okay, so this comes up a lot. Let me throw it to you this way. Let's say I live in Colorado, but I'm in vacation in France. What are you're gonna block me from signing up? If so when you have free signups and your site gains even a little bit of traction, we've covered this in previous webinars. There's like SEO that are looking for free places to list their clients on the net to create profiles for them. You have a few options. You can moderate and set the profiles to moderate. So you can you can encourage them to sign up for free and just let them know that every profile is going to be moderated, that it matches this criteria. So don't even waste your time if you don't meet this. That's also good because then your visitor, you can advertise it as like some verification process you do for your visitor's safety, that you've taken an extra step. And also some of the members might like it. The Colorado, like your actual Colorado members might appreciate that you're actually putting up some red tape so that not anyone can join and take over the site. The other option is to have like a $1 option where anyone who legitimately wants to join your site, they will certainly do so. Those are the two things, is either moderating the signups, and then when they're accepted to the site, have to send a special email, with confetti and everything that lets them know that they're accepted, or charge a buck.
A nominal fee. Yeah, that makes sense, Jason. I appreciate that. Both of those sound reasonable.
Yeah, we charge $1 to keep the riffraff out. You can say that in the nicest way possible.
Okay,
right.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Those are the way. All right, thank you, Evan. Yeah, good stuff there. Unwanted signups are pretty common when you have a site with a free listing option. You can edit your HT access area where you don't allow traffic to your site from certain regions, but again, like people are all around the world doing different things and using VPNs and who knows what. But I think moderation or charging a nominal fee is some people actually like the free signups to their site if they're serving all business categories in all locations. They welcome it. But if this is a really nice site, it's serving the Colorado area, and you want to keep it nice and tidy for your visitors and your members. It's a good question there, Evan. All right, guys. Let's see here. We are a little bit over time. If I didn't get to your question today, please ask it in the Facebook group. We'll backtrack a little bit here. David, amazing job with these slides. We now know how to set up a site with one top level category. Amazing lab updates coming soon. We're really excited for those. The Zapier and API updates that are coming down the line. We will post a replay of this webinar in the Facebook group. Please head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. If we didn't get to your questions or you have questions after the webinars, please start a discussion. I'll be in the Facebook group all day tomorrow and Friday. We usually get a good surge of questions after the webinars. And of course, please subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. Go to brilliantdirectories.com/YouTube and click on that red subscribe button. On behalf of myself, David, and the entire Brilliant Directories family, guys, this was super fun. Lots of great questions today. The next webinar will be in 2 weeks. We hope to see you there. Have a great day and a brilliant week. Take care, guys.